Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. This is it, history in the making. This show is a chronological of everything happening in the video game industry. We just last left off in September of 1982, playing Cloudburst on the Atari home computer. We already checked it out on the Commodore VIC-20, and we've already seen a little bit of what Cloudburst is like, but we haven't played it. So here we go, the continuing adventures of Chip Montana, Intergalactic Mercenary. This is by Tensor Technology and Peter Fokos, published by Dana sometime in the beginning of September 1982. Hey, we got a beat! Gotta love that pokey chip, very nice. Hey, Mikey, thanks so much. There's our points of how we're going to play the game. Now, already the presentation of the Atari version of Cloudburst has been better than the Commodore VIC-20. Wow, look at this. It's even going into an attract mode, and the game is miles better than the Commodore VIC-20. So this is very much like an arcade game. Let's see what happens when we want to go. Can we do options? Oh, there we go. Nice. So we can do different difficulty levels: beginner, advanced, expert, crazy. I don't know about crazy. Let's try crazy, why not? And then we can do how many players we want to play, 1 or 2 players, but it is an alternate play, so you can't play at the same time. All right, let's go in and play some Cloudburst. And they're raining on my parade, literally. Oh, I see what crazy is. Crazy makes my character very slippery. So in the first Cloudburst, you look like a turret or a gun, like a space game. But here, look at that. I am Chip Montana. I actually look like a character. Running around and shooting. That's a cool idea. It is a fixed shooter, but we're actually running around shooting up at the top of the screen. Very well done. Yeah, the crazy level is definitely crazy. Wow. You can also shoot left to right. The crazy one, though, is it's like on ice. So I'm sliding around all over the place. That's all, folks. Wow. It's amazing it's done by the same person. Now, it's credited for 1982. This could have come out late 82, and the box that we saw last episode was from 1983. So that explains why it's so cool looking. All right, let's play a beginner level and see if we do any better than that. Yeah, the presentation is so good. Can I shoot that bird? Oh, darn. I can't shoot the smiley face. Alright, so now we're in. So you can see whenever characters come to the bottom of the screen, I can shoot left and right and shoot up and down. Yep, that's Chip Montana, Intergalactic Mercenary, alright. Can we start appreciating the video games that are spending the time giving you characters with slight backstories? This pretty much started with Mario. Because Pac-Man did have cutscenes, and I guess Pac-Man would be the granddaddy of them all. But then now we've had Bounty Bob for Miner 2049er, and then we've had Mario, and there's going to be many, many more. This is the beginning of making characters in the game that look like people or actual characters with story, and they have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, this plays really well. It's the combination of both shooting up at the top of the screen at the enemies, and then when they drop down to the sides, there they are, shooting them out before they get to you. This looks, plays, and sounds much better than the Commodore VIC-20. It's really impressive showing the stark contrast between the two computers. Yeah, if we could play both back-to-back, we didn't have them in the same episode, but both Cloudburst, when you look at them back-to-back, it is a very different game. That's all, folks. It's essentially the same idea, though. You can shoot up to the clouds at the top, or enemies at the top, and then shoot left and right. So cool. Yeah, so we gave 3 stars around average for the Cloudburst on the Commodore VIC-20. I gotta go a notch higher for this one. Yeah, the chaos, also the flicker. Notice that every time we hit one of the enemies at the top, it makes the entire screen flash. So apologies again, if you are sensitive to flashing lights, close one eye or probably watch a different show. Also, if you have sensitive hearing, you may want to watch a different show too, because some of the games that we've played, specifically last episode's China Syndrome, was just an assault on the ears. We're getting lots of public domain songs shoved in this one. It's great playing video games that have music playing while you're going. Yeah, this is excellent. Errol's already thrown out 4 stars. Very nice for Cloudburst. 3.5 from Curtis Boyle. Oh yeah. It does seem like Chicken Little theming, yeah. Yeah, they're throwing in lots of public domain songs. I mean, why not? At this point, put as much music as you can in the game. The only fault I would say to this is there's not different levels. There's just different enemy types, but very limited enemy types. Essentially, what you see here in the game is it. That's why I couldn't go as high as a 4-star title of all the games we've played so far, but it's dodging, shooting, it's chaotic, action. The biggest new thing is the fact that I am a character that's walking around and shooting. I am Chip Montana. I'm not just a random ship. We're on a roll now. We're getting the hang of the game. I love it. Manly's already thrown out 3.5 stars of all the computer games you could play up to this point. Yep, there he goes. The way you disapparate whenever you die is nice too. I want to get that bird. Not gonna happen. Yeah, good point, Mikey. There's so many games that we've seen for home computers that are up to par with arcade games. This is a blast. But you won't see this in the arcade. It's your arcade at home. That's all, folks. I couldn't have said it better myself. So there you go. That's Cloudburst on the Atari home computer. Wow. I'm going to say it's better than the VIC-20 for sure. Of all the games you could play on a home computer, I'd say 3.5 stars for Cloudburst. Well done. And surprising compared to the other version. Usually we get really close versions, and I'm looking at Avalon Hill. They have almost the same version on all systems. But this is like something like Rear Guard or some of the other titles from Adventure International, where every system you go to is a completely different game. That's really good. Yeah, and for music, it's one of the best. All right, let's see what our next game is. It's time to go back to the Commodore VIC-20 and play some clowns. Even William Shatner isn't afraid of clowns. Clowns is a game we've seen, well, from the very beginning it was called Circus, and then Clowns later in the arcade, and we've seen this variant, or the kind of game that is the variant of Clowns or Circus, about 12 times here on the channel. It was December 1977 when we got Circus, and then later Clowns in 1978. So this is the latest iteration. Come one, come all, see the amazing jumping clowns direct from their show-stopping Bally Midway arcade tour, a true arcade classic. Colorful acrobatics with high-scoring skill, with artwork that'll freak you out if you're scared of clowns. Yes, they are. Do we have any other artwork for clowns? I think that is it. Oh, we have the cartridge to pop in and play on our VIC-20. Love that. And we also have the manual. The VIC-20 manual always says how to load the cartridge in, which should be pretty self-explanatory, but then it says to adjust your screen position and eliminate screen flutter. I'm not familiar with that. It must have been a big deal on the Commodore VIC-20, because every manual that we see for the VIC-20 has that. The amazing jumping clowns. You control the seesaw. Use your skill to glide it under the clown in the air so you can bounce this part into the top of the center ring. Each clown floats in the air, grabbing wildly at the colorful balloons overhead. Pop as many balloons as you can. It is a true circus game. It's like the arcade game, old school arcade game. You can play as 1 or 2 people, but you take turns and we're controlled with game paddles. And there's all the points. Memorize them. If you get 10,000, you get a bonus jumper. Easy peasy. So we have several alternate versions and also in other places around the world, but let's play the first one. In North America, it's time to pop in Clowns by Bally Manufacturing, published by Commodore Business Machines in the beginning of September 1982. Here we go. There's our instructions and points. 5 jumps per player. We got it. I want to know how well this works with the paddle. Oh, they go into attract mode like an arcade game. Very nice. Also, you played this one. Yeah, it already looks like a really good port. We've seen some good ones from Bally Midway, bringing them down themselves. All right, so let's do F1 to begin. If you do 2 players, you'll just take turns, but we're going to do a 1-player game. Got a quick little ditty on... Oh, the paddle controls. Look at that. Very nice. When we go from joystick-controlled games that are meant to be ball and paddle to an actual paddle-controlled game, it feels buttery smooth. It's so good. That's how you play Clowns or Circus right there. Get the combination to get as many points as you can. So because of the paddle controls, this is what makes this a really good port to play at home. And to tell you the truth, this kind of shows how far we've come. This game looks exactly like Circus did whenever we saw it in 1977. Very, very well done. It's like we're playing the arcade at home, if it was, in 1977. Let me see, if I try the paddle button, no, I cannot switch the seesaw out. But I have the best control. Gives you that finite detail. And it's speeding up really fast. Look at how well the VIC-20 is handling the frame rate. We do have a little bit of flicker in there. We have the terrible death just being crunched down. And they slow us down just a little bit. So for this kind of game, it's essentially like Breakout. You can call it Clowns or Circus, but it's Breakout. Oh, that's right. If one of the acrobats jumps on the other side, the clown, I can't switch the seesaw. It would be an instant death. Yeah, right now, if you check the links down below, there is a link for all the games we've ever played. You can go right now to the 1977 link if you want to do a quick comparison. This is exactly the same. You may even argue it's a little bit better, the way the paddle controls. So how about that? Playing arcade games, perfect arcade games from the 70s. That's where we are right now. Very nice. Oh, the VIC Avenger, yeah. Yeah, very well done, Space Invaders. We saw that one on, I think, every Commodore so far. Oh, it caught it good. We've even seen, Commodore 64, Commodore MAX Machine, VIC-20. And that works. There you go. Very good fun for clowns. Now, up to this point, there's already been some really good clown or circus variants you could play. One of the best ones was Clowns and Balloons on the Atari home computer. The most recent one we played was Acrobat 2 on the Commodore PET. Wasn't one of the best ones, but kind of cool playing it on the PET. And then later we're going to see this one on the Commodore 64. But in the meantime, I'd say this game is still very well done for all the games you could play, but there's better Clowns and Balloons that are out there. So I'm thinking around 3 stars or 3.5 stars for all the games so far. Yeah, I'm seeing 3 from Manly and Errol. Hunter says 3.2. Yeah, 4.5. Charlie's going way high. Yeah, if you love the game, at this time, this would be a really good way to play, but there is some better ones. So I'm going to have to go 3 stars, pretty average for all the games you can be playing right now on a home computer. But that's not all. We also have Clowns on the Commodore MAX Machine. So if you were in Japan and you didn't have a Commodore 64 and you were just a very sad child, you would be playing Clowns, the latest release. Let's take a look at the box. It's the exact same artwork, and we're going to see this again on the Commodore 64, but they've done it with for the MAX Machine. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be slightly better than the VIC-20, but I mean only slightly. There's the cartridge to play some Clowns. Yeah, the screenshot looks about the same. Let's pop it and play. Again, by Midway, published by Commodore Business Machines in the beginning of September 1982. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it looks basically the same. In fact, if you want to argue that the resolution is slightly better, it's the same idea. Let's go in. And it should be paddle controls as well. I'm trying it out. Oh, wow. Even has the same ditty in the beginning. Oh, look at that. Yes, paddle controls. Very nice. So you wouldn't feel like you were missing out on the Commodore MAX Machine, but still, you got to admit, for an arcade game from 1977, this is very, very well done. Feels like we're speeding up even faster than before. Do you like Breakout, but you want to see people die? Then play Clowns and Circus. That's how we do it. That's how you do it. Knock them out. You're learning the pro tactics for Clowns or Circus here on Chronologically Gaming. Kind of like in Breakout, when you learn that the ball needs to get to the top of the screen, then you can bounce everything off and clear them all away for the most points. Any day now. Oh, they're still going. Yes. Now, let's see if we can switch the seesaw. Can we do it? It doesn't look like it. Paddle button doesn't do anything, so you got to stick with the same thing. But that's how it was in the arcade, so it's still arcade perfect. At this point, there's been other variants, though, that have been better that you could play on the home computer. That's why I wouldn't rate this much higher, but I still have to admit, even now, in September 1982, the paddle control for these style of games is where it's at. Oh, good point, Curtis. The slight change between that and the VIC-20. I don't know if we're going to wax the seesaw. Oh, man. Clear a whole row, get a bonus of points, and just how long can you go? It's great. Oh, so you would say a little higher, Curtis, 3.5 for this one compared to the VIC. Also, I noticed that the VIC had a little bit of flicker, which is understandable. This one feels even more smooth. Oh, gosh. Yeah, it still plays very, very well. You would be satisfied with this one on the Commodore MAX Machine. So there you go, Clowns on the Commodore MAX Machine. I'd still say if I could give it a notch, it'd be like 3.25 stars instead of 3.5. But I'll still say around the average range. 3 stars for Clowns. A very well done port of a game you can play at home. Nicely done. And let's see what our next game is. Yeah, the less flicker, definitely. All right, we're back on the Atari home computer. This is Chopper Rescue. I am so excited to show off this one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the very first game that MicroProse ever made. And it's by Sid Meier. Let's take a look at the box. Up in the top left, we got the Atari sticker. You need 40K for the cassette, and I believe we'll be popping in the cassette to play. Artwork on the front looks reminiscent of other rescue-style games, and I'm looking at Choplifter. That's the one we've seen so far. That has been phenomenal. I don't know for sure if this was influenced by Choplifter. It was around the same time they came out. We flip it over on the back. Experience the MicroProse Challenge. MicroProse is dedicated to bringing you games that will challenge you far beyond the first few plays. We promise you hours of excitement and pleasure. Our games are credited using MicroProse, our own proprietary assembly language gaming system, and are available at select computer stores. Fancy, very fancy. MicroProse in Maryland. And there's the other games by MicroProse: Hellcat 8, Spitfire, Floor to the Jungle, and Wingman. And all of those I think we're going to see before the year closes out. This is monumental, being able to see the first game. Yeah, 40K, you need to crank the memory up of your computer, that's for sure. We're going to see that one way later. What other artwork do we have for Chopper Rescue? So beside the box, this is what you see in magazines at the time. They are advertising the 3 first games, which is Hellcat Ace, Floor to the Jungle, and Chopper Rescue. Hellcat Ace and Floor to the Jungle, they're right around the corner. We're going to be seeing those next. It cost $30, and here it says you need 32K for Chopper Rescue. The sticker said 40K. What is it? And then another ad here with the other games with some of the artwork. This was a later ad for MicroProse. Oh man, so excited. Another big company taken over to play. I have never played this game. I've heard about it and familiar with it. So here's the manual to tell us how this works. Look at that, old school. It had Sid Meier there, and notice Sid Meier was not on the front of the box. Now, we first saw Sid Meier before doing Formula 1 racing in March of 1982, and Sid Meier's name was on the front of that box. It wasn't on this one, at least the box we just looked at. So here we go. The object of the game is to rescue the captives trapped in a series of underground labyrinths. Care must be taken to avoid the fixed missile launchers and mobile patrol drone defenders. Points are accumulated for captives rescued, enemy installations destroyed, and speed. How do you load the game? Either you use disc or cassette. And then this game, I believe, is all basic. This is programmed entirely in basic, so remind yourself that when we're playing the game. Use the option key to select the level of difficulty. Level 1's the easiest, level 3 is the most difficult. Use the select key to choose the play mode. Now here's where it gets interesting. You can have 4 players play this game. And what they mean by 4 players is you can do team play. So when you select, say 4 players, that means 2 people are going to control the first chopper. And that means one person moves the chopper around. The second person is controlling the shooting and the bombs. And then if you do the other 2 people control the other chopper and team up on that one. So this is a cooperative chopper rescue game, and you can have 4 people total that'll be able to play the game. You can share one chopper if you want to. And then the select key controls the number of players. So the control for this game is awesome if you have enough people that would want to play. You control the chopper, pressing the joystick in the direction you want to move. Captives will wave at your chopper, kind of like Choplifter. Pick them up by positioning the chopper over them. Avoid the walls of the labyrinth and destroy enemy defenses. Your chopper is equipped with a swift missile and power bombs. To drop bombs, hold the joystick down. Bombs can be dropped with forward or backward velocity as well. Wow. You can fire 1 bomb at a time. To fire a missile, hold the joystick left or right and press the trigger. In solo mode, you control both. You move the chopper and you also fire everything. In the team mode, one joystick controls the motion of the chopper while the second joystick controls the bombs and missiles. So you and a friend can partner up and work together in the game. And if you have even more people, you can turn it into a party game where you have 4 that join in. The indicator on the upper left corner shows the amount of fuel remaining on the chopper. It'll crash if it runs out of fuel. So the fuel's kind of like the timer. Quickly rescue everybody until before the time's up. There's 10 captives in each labyrinth. When all 10 have been rescued, you can continue to the next one. In the multiplayer game, all players complete the first labyrinth before any player attempts the next. The bottom of the screen indicates what player's next, and then you can pause the game hitting the space bar. That's right, pause the game. They've still been doing that for a long time on the Atari. And then there's our points. Got to know what they are. And then there's the ad for everything else by MicroProse. So exciting. Already off the bat, it's a really simple manual, but it's showing us what we're going to be able to do. We have the cassette version, we have the disc version, and then I got a hacked version. We're going to pop in the disc version and play Chopper Rescue by Sid Meier of MicroProse Software at the beginning of September 1982. This is it, the beginning of some of the big games. At least I'm hoping so. I wasn't familiar with this one before coming at us. And while this is the first MicroProse game, this is going to be re-released later as Air Rescue 1. And then it's also going to be involved in some bundles with MicroProse at some point at some point another time. There we go. They have ads for MicroProse when you boot the game up. Very nice. Don't forget about Hellcat Ace and Floyd the Jungle, with the full address down here by my shoulder. Incredible. It's taken quite a bit of time to load because I believe this entire game is in BASIC, and then it goes through another title splash screen too. Wow. When I played the first Sid Meier game, which was the Formula 1 racing, that one, it was okay, but it wasn't amazingly impressive. It was a little slower. And so I want to see what Chopper Rescue is like. Okay, so here we go. We can do level 1, 2, or 3. Wow, we got some music too. I believe, is that Bach that's playing in the background? And then we can switch out the number of players, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then you can also go team players 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then the screen, I think you can switch out, changing the different options levels. Nicely done. Here we go. Push and start to begin. First time checking out Chopper Rescue. Wow. So first impression is, look at this chopper. I can move all around the screen freely. This is scrolling in all directions. It's not just left to right like Choplifter. I have a lot more control over the chopper. So, wow. I have lots of objectives. I can blow up environments. Whoa, the flashing is real. Every time you do an explosion, the whole screen lights up. And just like they said in the manual, if I drop a bomb, I have a little bit of leeway to move it around. You gotta be careful on the walls. Make your way down there, very nice. Want to blow myself through there, and then they have these different areas that you can explode, and I think it turns off. Does it turn off the side? It does. So cool. It has like a core. If you blow up the core, then you can get down there, and it doesn't. The turrets turn off. Let's see if we can sneak by this one. And there's some of the enemies you can't destroy, but look at all the enemy types that we're going against. And I want to be able to get down there and rescue that guy. The manual didn't say anything about having to deliver them anywhere. It's just rescue them and then get out of here. Oh no, how do we get through that? Okay, so we got to turn off the power on the other side. This right here is what's amazing. I'm flying around and I'm scrolling diagonally all over the screen. Oh, can I not get down there? How do I get the power to turn that sucker off? If it doesn't go that way, then I'll have to try a different one. Yeah, your bombs, you can actually angle them down, which is kind of cool. That's what you got to do. Shoot past it. I got it. And then you can destroy it. Very cool. What I did for this game is I just made sure it could boot up, but I have not played the game. So getting used to the different enemy types, realizing that we have some enemies that shoot at us, we have some enemies that... We even have, look at this, there's a force field that's around this guy, and I bet if I hit a wrong shot, I'm gonna bomb one of my buddies. I also realized this is one of the very first games we've ever seen that I shoot a bomb off, the bomb travels beyond the screen. So it's not staying on the screen we see. We can fire shots off screen. And I'll prove it to you. Let's angle up and let's get this guy off frame. There. There. Oh, I thought I did shoot him. Never mind. Didn't get him that time. I should be able to get... See, I can angle my bombs over and destroy them like that. Wow. Nice. Let's see if we can sneak in and rescue him. There we go. They make it really easy, too. You don't have to land. You just got to be in the proximity, and then he gets on the chopper. Oh, man. There's so much happening, too. All the different enemy types. It's a level of complexity we haven't seen in a video game. So much fun. And it feels like we're in a mini world that we're flying through right now. They did keep it enclosed because, you know, we're underground. Man, but the flashing is really distracting. Oh, you got one shot on me at the end. It keeps the high score at the top. Very nice. So that was just level 1, screen 1. And there's several levels you can play, and you also have the ability to play with other friends and join in for co-op modes. Yes. Oh, that's true. H-E-R-O, or Hero, is a great title. We haven't seen that one yet. Maybe it was. Alright, let's go in again. I want to be able to rescue 10 and move on to the next stage. That's what makes this so much fun. Let's see what the next level's like. I'm already impressed with how much fun it is just to play. Figure out what enemies are out here. Oh, nice. We can't blow them up. I love it. Can't destroy them. Can we blow? Okay, we got some shots that we can't destroy, but notice if I destroy the core, then it turns off everything else. Oh, that guy's still blowing up. Let's get rid of him. And this one's going. Let's take him out. There we go. We got somebody up on the top. Let's go for the top guys this time. And then they have these static mines that you have to blow up too. Wow, now this one's tight. Now, I'm very familiar with Choplifter. When we played it, I knew off the bat I was going to give it a 5-star rating. This one I'm not familiar with. I love Sid Meier. I'm amazed that we were able to play this game. I'm amazed at how good the game is, but now I really am not sure if I could say if this one is as good as Choplifter or not. It is another helicopter rescue game in the same year Very interesting. Yeah, I love how we have enemies that are coming at us, firing back at us. It's amazing. And then if you can destroy all the cores, then you might have even less enemies that come at you. Playing by yourself, you control the chopper and all the shots. That means bombing too. So if you had another person to play, you could just worry about dodging everything, moving around the screen, and then the other player could worry about bombing, firing forwards. It's so much fun. Yeah. It does look... Yeah, that's true. The chopper doesn't look as impressive as the one in Choplifter. I'm with you on the clown car, Hunter. When you played Choplifter, the chopper actually looked more three-dimensional. The way it moved left and right. It was really, really, really nice. Nicely done. All right, let's see if we have anybody down here. Did I miss someone? No. No one down there. Let's make our way back up. We do have this guy. This is going to be the tricky one to get. You got to be able to sneak your shot past it. It's almost like you have to confuse the shot so it doesn't shoot off. There you go, we got it. Very nicely done. And then now we can get to the core down there. Very good. Wow. Bombs go right through it. Love it. And it looks like we just get extra points for doing that. We did it! Level 1 complete! And it just goes right to the next screen. So that means you don't have to drop anybody off you've rescued. You just keep playing. So much fun. And then it's ready screen 2. So you notice the level changes. You can make it faster or play faster. And then you can even include other people. Alright, player 1's next. Oh, look at this. And we have a whole nother level. So much fun. Oh yeah, this is great. Alright, now you gotta ask yourself the question of the Chopper Rescue games. Is this the same level as Choplifter? Is this a 5-star game of all the games you could play on a home computer? Or is it around that range, maybe 4.5 star? I know, we're more like smashing on top of them. We don't land like Choplifter and watch them run on the side. I do like that whenever we fire shots, the bombs and the lasers travel past the screen you see, which is kind of nice. Manly's going 4 stars, Scruffy's going 4. I'm gonna have to go way up. I wouldn't say it is high as Choplifter. Something about Choplifter gives a simulation feel. This one doesn't have that feeling to it. It doesn't have the weight of it. But I'm still going to say it's one of the best computer games you could play up to this point. I'm going to go 4.5 stars for Chopper Rescue. Yeah, really good. Mikey's going 4. Kun's going 4. 4.5. Yeah, the exploration. I love it. Yeah. Hunter's going 4.5. It doesn't auto-scroll like Super Cobra. It does a little bit better than that one. All right, so after Chopper Rescue, I don't know what to expect now. I really want to keep playing that one and see how many levels we can get through. Lots of fun. All right, let's see what our next game is. We're still hanging out on the Atari home computer. This is Clonus II. I'm not sure if this is the sequel or just an upgrade. We've already played Clonus in April of 1982, and this one is the second one. All we have for information on this is the ad you would have seen in magazines. It's for $40. You wander into a city in the future in the year 2086. You have no money or belongings, but you have the task of somehow manufacturing a clone of yourself. You may sell any parts of your body except your head, and you may gamble in one of the craziest casinos you'll ever encounter in this lifetime. What? The object is to build a clone, but the city is more extensive. My goodness. Only Crystalware could think of something like that. Let's pop in and play Clonus II by John Bell and Mark Russell Benioff at the beginning of September 1982 by Crystalware. Oh, that's right. This one is a little tricky to load. This one, you have to use Basic Revision A, so hold on to your hats. Let's see if we can get it to run without a crash. Oh, man. Okay, there we go. Oof. This one is the very tricky revision of Basic, and sometimes it loads, sometimes it doesn't. But the reason they use this, or Crystalware uses this, is because you can do a little trickery that you can't do with OSB or Basic Revision B. So, as usual, Crystalware's games have lots of bugs, but they push the limits of what you can do with games. Yeah, it was an AT-AT on there. Alright, we're going to play a new game. Push number 1. Let's go. I don't know what to expect. We already played Clonus, the first one, and it was very similar to other Crystalware games. The engine they use is this top-down view where you're moving around, being able to explore. In a way, a lot of their titles are the beginning of graphic adventure games. Instead of just wandering around typing into a text parser, you actually show your character move around. Oh, there it is. Look at our tiny little character. Oh my goodness. We'll just travel our way up north. They start us off in the dark. Oh, see, we're already seeing some graphical issues, I'm thinking. To the top. Man, it's a bug-ridden mess. As you can see, we travel up. Oh, okay, yeah, work our way to this area. Can we go over to the left? It's the future. I wonder if they say this is the year... They say it was 2030 that we're playing in? Oh yeah, so this one looks very similar to a lot of the Crystalware games, where you have the ability to move all around freely, and this one doesn't play any of the action that we've played, or role-playing like the other Crystalware games. This is straight adventure. We're now at the Temple of the Dolphins? What in the world? Can I go in? Or is that's just the label? That's the sign that we're currently in the Temple of the Dolphins. And then you wander around, you explore... If you were like an adventure title, instead of typing in west, north, and east, this one you actually move around. So I'm using the Atari VCS joystick to explore. Oh, it's 2080, where dolphins are ruling the world. I think Simpsons predicted that one. Oh yeah, this is bizarre. It is still really impressive that it's an adventure title that has graphics like this, and it feels like some of the early titles we're going to see later by Lucasfilm and by Sierra, where we're actually seeing ourselves move around the adventure game. So there's no shooting, there's no elements involved with like action or arcade. All this is you're going to be moving around the world, exploring, picking up items, and then using those items for puzzles. But Clonus is a really bizarre story. You have to find pieces of yourself and clone yourself. It's just crazy. Yes, maybe Echo the Dolphin was there, being built for much later. But I don't even know what Echo the Dolphin is. I am in September of 1982. There's the Police Encoding Center. Oh, I think I went on the outside. Darn. Uh-oh, it's trying to load the second stage of the game, I think. I thought it was an entire open world, and it just continued on forever. Maybe it is Flipper the Dolphin. It did. It loaded a whole new section of the game. How bizarre is that? So this is a very difficult game to compare to all the other games on home computers, because this one has an engine that allows you to explore a little bit larger than usual. I kind of compared this game to Adventure to Atlantis, which is another one we played, that's trying to do something different with adventure titles. What in the world? It's Pat's Pleasure Palace? I don't want to go to Pat's Pleasure Palace. Oh man, so another very creative, very strange addition by John Bell and Mark Russell Benioff. You better enjoy these now, because Crystalware, after 1982, they are defunct. We're not going to see any more of them. Oh yeah, this is bizarre. All right, so there you go. That was Clonus II. Or at least a very brief explanation of Clonus II. I don't even know for sure if we were playing the legit one, because there's so many bugs on Basic Revision A on the Atari home computer. Yes, there's so much to say about Clonus II. I don't even know where to start. But I will say, being able to play a game like that is like the first game. When we played Clonus 1, I still say this one is above average title. It is bizarre, it is strange, but the ability to be able to move around freely like that and explore a world where you're not having to type into a text parser, it's beyond most other computer games. 2.5 for Errol, so going subpar. The hookah room, I wouldn't say that was the progressive part, but I'll say the same as Clonus. I might even say slightly less than the first Clonus, but I'm not sure if this is the sequel or if this is just changing the bugs for it. Yeah, okay, Richard's going 3.5, Manly's 3.5, Charlie's 2.5 too. Yeah, I can understand. It's not your cup of tea because this one is proto-adventure games, like Lucasfilm adventure games. All right, and with that, let's see what our next game is. After this commercial break.
And the arcade is the arena. You focus your mind and propel yourself into a universe where you're the master of your destiny for as long as you can keep the trip going. This is the arcade experience.
That's how the arcade is?
We bring the arcade experience home with games like Donkey Kong with multiple screens.
There we go.
Arcade controls. And arcade
I wouldn't say that.
The arcade experience at home because your vision is our vision. ColecoVision.
ColecoVision. Yes, it's another title for the brand new ColecoVision. The arcade experience at home. I don't know what kind of arcade they were playing. I haven't seen holograms in 1982 so far, but they make it really exciting, right? This is Cosmic Avenger for the ColecoVision. Let's take a look at the box. Cosmic Avenger, the first official port. We saw this in the arcades in July of 1981, and now you can play it at home. As most of the ColecoVision titles, they put the arcade cabinet and say it plays just like the real arcade. High resolution. Wow, oh yeah. In this futuristic air and sea battle game, you command a space fighter in combat against an alien civilization. Using the control, you direct it over the cities and down through the sea caverns. The alien installations must be destroyed, but the alien employs ships and submarines that fire missiles and release bombs with unrelenting force. So we technically haven't seen an official Scramble game at home. Like, Scramble has not come home officially. Cosmic Avenger was Universal's riff on that, and now we have that that's come home officially. Let's see what other artwork we have for Cosmic Avenger. Well, there we go. In Europe, this is the box you would have seen, published by CBS Electronics. They totally changed it, too. Look at that. They added their own artwork for Cosmic Avenger in Europe. And flip it over in the back, the CBS one for the Europe version has a few screenshots. Very, very nice. Just like the game. Shows multiple screens and 4 skill levels, or what you're going to see in the game. Yeah, we played it in the arcades. Very well done. Of all the games you could be playing, it was during the rage of let's scroll left to right and shoot. It was the hit of 1981, and Cosmic Avenger was another one. It got absorbed with, you know, Super Cobra and Scramble, of course. So there's the cartridge we're going to play, some Cosmic Avenger. Oh, nice. They're adding in all the extra artwork. I love it. All right, we have the manual for Cosmic Avenger. How do we play? If you play with 2 people, you don't play together. I always want to bring that up because when you see 2 players, you're like, oh yes, we can play at the same time. No, you cannot. At least not with Cosmic Avenger. It's Coleco's exciting Cosmic Avenger. Now, Universal helped or allowed them to port this one over as close to the arcade as possible. Fly your fighter over domed cities and through alien seas, firing bombs and missiles at enemy installations and targets. But beware, the aliens are not defenseless. They're going to have rockets that come up at you. In a way, I would say Cosmic Avenger is the 2D version of Zaxxon. You know, if you turn the isometric view on, that's what Cosmic Avenger is. It looks the same. It's kind of like the same sci-fi theme. Yeah, to get ready to play, it doesn't say anything about the expansion module for your ColecoVision. At this point, though, you bet you got it plugged in to play some Atari on your ColecoVision. That's so fun. And there's the controllers, not quite arcade perfect, but that's what the ColecoVision controllers look like. The keypad allows you to select your game, so there is no overlay, and we're not going to be using the keypad to play the game. All you got to do is get your hands around the controller, a hand on the joystick, and the 2 buttons, left and right side. I bet that's going to be our shot and bombs. Yeah, there we go. It tells us right there. So if you're playing a 2-player game, you take turns, and there it is, the screen with everything that's going to happen. We have radar beams, barrage missiles, barrage guns, fuel domes. So cool. Oh, yeah, maybe it was on the Apple first when it came out. We haven't seen it yet. Oh, yeah, I'm so excited to play this after playing Sid Meier. This is going to be great. So you can fire. We're very familiar with the arcade game, so the manual isn't going to tell us anything new. Beware of the UFO submarines and their missiles. Yeah, this one plays just like the arcade. Very nice. And as usual, ColecoVision says there's the fun of discovery. The manual only tells you so much, but you can find even more in the game. That's the fun. From Coleco. So this one was, yeah, we just have an alternate version. Let's pop in Cosmic Avenger by Coleco. Thomas McHugh developed this from Coleco Industries at the beginning of September 1982. I think they're going to give us the beginning where you choose what you want to do next. So all you got to do for the number pad on the ColecoVision is choosing these options. I like that because it takes away the complexity that Mattel Intellivision or Emerson Arcadia have, where you got to use the numpad and overlays. It doesn't exist here on ColecoVision. I don't think the 90-day warranty is valid. It is now in September 1982. All right, we're going to do skill 1, 1 player. Let's go. Wow me, Coleco. Very nice. We got our bombs. We got our shots. One shot at a time. I'm used to a lot of games with firepower. And also, I'm used to, after playing Chopper Rescue, the bomb follows the same arc as, it doesn't matter what you do, so there's no physics involved, but I can speed us up. Oh yeah, there we go. If you want to run away, hold to the right, and you can change your speed. At the top of the screen, we have a radar a la Defender. It really doesn't showing too much, though. If you've tuned in or watched our previous episodes, we played a home console, very obscure, called the CreativeVision. This one looks very similar to the CreativeVision. There was a game we played already on there called Planet Defender. Now, it didn't look as sci-fi as this, but Planet Defender was kind of like a Defender rather than Scramble. But the graphics are very, very similar. All right, we're already on to the next mode. Let's see if we can get down low. Take him out. Nice. This is a very well-done shooter for a home console. I gotta give the nod to Zaxxon, though. After playing Zaxxon first on ColecoVision, and then we have Cosmic Avenger, it's not nearly as impressive. It's still very well done, and you'd have a lot of fun with this, especially if you liked it in the arcades, but Cosmic Avenger in the arcades by Universal wasn't, you know, extremely popular. It's more of Coleco trying to acquire as many arcade licenses as possible, and then bring them home. Is that in the arcade? Quick! Let's buy it up so we can make an arcade game that people can play at home. Yeah, this is a lot of fun for a shooter, scrolling shoot 'em up. So much fun. Okay, we gotta get some fuel. No, why did we miss the fuel? Quickly, there you go. Give me some more. I need more fuel. Still need more. Slow us down. I'm barely hanging on. It still isn't... It seems like it's not filling up my fuel. But we're making our way through very swiftly. You can see how it's changing levels. You get something different to look at. Just blow off the fuel. Go, go, go. Gosh, yeah, the fast scrolling's awesome, too. Oh, really? So you didn't like Zaxxon as much, Kun? Okay. On ColecoVision. It is true, though. It was much smoother in the arcades when you played. The fast scrolling is really impressive. I did see a little bit of the flicker too, just a little bit. And I gotta admit, after playing Zaxxon, I'd expect this one to perform even better. They give us plenty of lives, lots of fun for it. So in 1981, we played Planet Defender on the ColecoVision, a very well-done shoot-'em-up, side-scrolling, just like this one. It didn't auto-scroll, though. It let you move left and right, just like you're playing Defender. And then we played a game called Freedom Fighters on the Philips Video Pack in April of 1982. That one really wasn't, compared to this, like, it wasn't nearly as good as this. But then we played Chopper Command on the Atari VCS by Activision in June, and then Space Raiders on the Arcadia 2001. That was a terrible shoot-'em-up. And then the biggest, one of the best ones was Empire Strikes Back in July and on the VCS. But I'd say even better than that, though. So far, of all the shooters we could play, Vanguard on the Atari VCS is still tops. That one's still the best one. Yeah, Fuel's not looking so good, but I think we'll be all right. I mean, but after you see Donkey Kong and the titles we've seen for the ColecoVision, this one is okay, and it works, but Atari's shoot-'em-ups are better than this one. I'd rather play Empire Strikes Back or Vanguard than this, if you had all the systems in your house. All right, so there you go, a quick taste of Cosmic Avenger. Man, of all the games you could play on a home console, it's still okay. I'm starting around 3.5 stars so far. I'd even go higher than that if you think of all the games we could be playing. Vanguard, we were giving around 4.5 or 5 stars, and it's more comparable to the ColecoVision shoot-'em-ups. I'm seeing lots of 3.5s around average for the console. Now, of all the games you could play on a console, it's limited. If you think of all the games you could play on a home computer, there's way more shooters that are better that you could play. But I'm still gonna have to go a little bit higher and say 4 stars. It's very well done, and it works great for a home console. Comparing all of those. All right, after Cosmic Avenger, let's see what our next game is. We're back on the Commodore VIC-20. This is Cosmic Cruncher. Not familiar with this one. What's up with Cosmic Cruncher? Maneuver your Cosmic Cruncher through the Milky Way and crunch all the pulsars in each part of the galaxy. 11 challenging levels of play, over 300 color maze combinations. Another exciting Commodore arcade-style action game. That really doesn't explain much. Let's flip it over in the back. It just has information about Commodore. No more about the game. Do we have any other artwork for Cosmic Cruncher? What is Cosmic Cruncher? Is that it? Oh, you have a cartridge will pop in. Okay. Like our cartridges on the Commodore VIC-20. The manual will tell us much more. You can use this with paddle or keyboard. Okay. Game paddles or keyboard. That's interesting. So, as usual, Commodore VIC-20 tells us to adjust the screen and eliminate screen flutter. Maybe that's what they were talking about when we played Clowns. That was screen flutter. We have over 300 options in this game. Cosmic Cruncher gives you 300 special color and maze combinations. You can only activate one of these options. You have to first turn on the computer, which means you must select the options immediately after turning on your VIC. You can change the killer satellites and make them invisible. You also have the yellow function keys on the right side of the keyboard to activate game options. So they do give you the option, but you're having to use the function keys of your VIC-20. That's right, Charlie. You are familiar with this one. I love it. So it tells you how to create the invisible characters if you wanted to. And we've seen options like that. Or if you play Pac-Man on Atari VCS, they're pretty much invisible. They're flickering so much. All right, so you can see the controls on the keyboard right here. And then this was released in the Quebecois regions of Canada. And so this is what you would, this is the instructions you'd be reading for that, of how to play. And then the other exciting Commodore titles. All right, we have lots of versions we could be playing. We're going to play the first one. This is Cosmic Cruncher by HAL Laboratory originally and then modified by Commodore Business Machines in the beginning of September 1982. There it is. So we have already played this game. This is known as Jelly Monsters from 1981. And they got sued because if you remember Jelly Monsters, it looked a lot like Pac-Man. Let's hit F1 to start. Yes, it is another Pac-Man style game, and we get to play as the Commodore logo. I can't make this stuff up. Oh no, we're getting sued by Atari because Atari owned the rights to bring it home. Oh, we're getting some graphical info. We had this happen whenever we played Jelly Monsters too. But it only happened on the live show. Every time I did playtest, it never had any problems with it. It's always when we do the live show. This is so bizarre. If you have problems where you need to change the characters out, they didn't do what Casey's Crazy Chase did. They just completely changed to the Commodore logo. Yes. And they did a completely different sound change for part of it. But notice we can still hear most of the Pac-Man sounds in the background. I guess they wouldn't get sued for that. Yeah, I would still say this one's still alright compared to the Pac-Man on Atari VCS. Game over. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we played about 70 different Pac-Man variants. And most recently, as far as home computers go, we played Munchie Man on the BBC Micro. We played Scarf Man on the Dragon 32. We played Snapper on the BBC Micro. And we played the very terrible VIC-Min on the Commodore VIC-20. But the most recent one was Zuckman, or Zuckman, on the ZX81. And this one is very rough. I still say Jelly Monsters is very well done. It looks and plays like Pac-Man, which hence why they had to change everything. But yeah, this one it's subpar. It's not really the most impressive game you could play, and you can tell that they're trying to rip off Pac-Man. Changing with a Commodore logo is just a terrible idea. Oh yeah, you can see the AI is really tough. Look how they're following me after they go into the center. It's brutal. Oh yeah, they just hone in on you. Very, very difficult. Do we get any other screens besides this one? But notice whenever they go back to the center, it's just... They just pop right out again. It's so fast. Yeah, if you've tuned into Chronologically Gaming, you might die of Pac-Man fever. I have played 70 different, or around 70 different Pac-Man games. We have a moon to collect. That's kind of cool. Notice it's not doing the artifacting or the doubling now. The Commodore VIC-20 is a crazy beast. So we originally gave Jelly Monsters pretty high rating for home computers because of how close it looked. I'd still say this one's 3 stars. Pac-Man games, you'd have a good game of Pac-Man. I just think playing as the Commodore logo, doesn't that mean you're a sellout? If you're playing and excited to play a game as the Commodore logo. All right, now the moment of truth. What would you give of all the games you could play right now on a home computer Cosmic Cruncher? Those titles that I mentioned that we played recently as Pac-Man games weren't very good. They were still around the average range. Yes. We are going to see better ones out there. I see 2's already off the board. Yeah, that means there'll be a bad title. 2.5 from Curtis Manley as well. I'm not going to go as harsh. It's still around the average range if you think of all the games you can be playing on a home computer. 2.5. Oh yeah, the flicker does make it difficult, but you gotta admit it's better than Zuckman. It's better than VIC-Min for sure. Snapper on the BBC Micro, by the way, is exceptional. That is a really, really well done game for Pac-Man. But also say 3 stars. I kind of want to make it slightly lower because playing as the Commodore logo is just terrible. Makes me want to go back and play KC Munchkin because that one still was fun. It was really, really fun. All right, that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause. Tune in next episode for the latest issue of Computer Gaming World. And they include the top 10 best computer games of all time. I'm going to be including my top 10 best computer games so far that you could play. That's it for today. And like I always say, I wish games would load as fast as they do on cartridge. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.